So I finished Blood Canticle, which is the final book that Anne Rice wrote in the vampire series. It's a nice little wrap-up. But also, not much happens. So Lestat is still kind of at odds with Roshamandius from cutting his arm off and stuff. And Roshamandius is like, there's a lot. I enjoyed this book. It's a lot of flowery, like old school, like Anne Rice kind of writing, where it's just like blah 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 blah. It takes like 16 pages to describe like one scene. Like, nothing happens. People are just like hanging out. It's great. I love it. I loved every second of it. But again, the overall plot is Lestat's hanging out. He's got his good friends over here with the Replanoids who are doing their own thing over there. He's got his good friends over here in the Vampire Kingdom. Everyone's hanging out. Everyone's having a good time. He gets summoned by this guy back in New Orleans, or outside New Orleans, because he got attacked by like rogue vampires. So he goes and takes care of that. He meets this guy. He finds out this guy is an old lover of Pandora. Pandora is like the most beautiful vampire woman. She was I'm trying to remember. She wasn't Roman. It was like shortly thereafter. It's been a while since I read that book, so I don't remember. I remember she's supposed to be beautiful, and she's got this like Indian lover who's also a vampire. He's a total douchebag. Anyway, so this guy got turned into a vampire by Pandora, and then he had to like leave, and he misses her. And then the guy who's a douchebag just dies. Just gets killed because Marius has like an issue with it for like being an asshole and trying to drag Pandora. Pandora is one of Marius's fledglings, I'm pretty sure. And Marius is like one of the older vampires. He's not one of the ancient. He's he's like the second school, like Roman Empire kind of era. When the originals are like Gregory, Akasha, who's dead, Marriott, Marak, who's dead. Roshamandius is in that group. There's another guy we get introduced to who just like, there's a guy who shows up and he's like, I work for this guy. And people are like, that guy's a myth. And they chain him up and like steal. And Cyril, one of his bodyguards, is like, yeah, that's a thing you can do. I've known that forever. I'm one of the oldest vampires around. And it's like, is this supposed to be like a revelation? And then it's never brought up again. It's just like Cyril, Gregory, and this other guy, I can't remember his name, are like the oldest vampires left alive. And there's most of it like ancient vampires that are like the Romans and the Egyptians and stuff that are kind of just like around. Anyway, so we got shoot. Okay, so that happens. That guy shows up later. We meet him. The guy who comes to like cause problems, he gets killed. Like he gets trialed and killed by like the Vampire Kingdom. What else? Oh, at some point, so that kind of all happens. Oh, this guy comes back to court. Him and Pandora like hook back up. So that's fun. He gets what he wants. Everyone's like winning, right? Everyone's like getting what they want and all the bad stuff's going away. It's like a wrap-up. It's like they're like, all right, cool. So we told our story in Atlantis. That was the final kind of hurrah. Now we're going to like give her this. Blood Canticle is like an epilogue to like this 17-long book series or 14 or 13 book. And it's a good epilogue. It's not that long. It kind of wraps everything up. Roshamandius is still around. So, of course, Benedict, his like lover/fledgling, comes and like sacrifices himself, which drives Roshamandius mad. He steals Gabriella, Lestat's mom. He steals Louis, his like lover. He steals Marius, like the prime minister, essentially, of the Vampire Kingdom, or like the vizier or whatever. And then Armand, who's never liked Lestat, goes on like a rant about it, and then Lestat like gives like, Roshamandius, take me, leave my kingdom alone. Roshamandius is like, fine, and then Lestat goes with Roshamandius and then catches him by surprise and like kills him and eats him real good, like eats his eyes and his brain, like drinks his blood. And then he comes back and everyone's like super happy, and it's like, we got rid of the one guy who was a total asshole that we couldn't like deal with because he's so ancient. Like, good job, Lestat, we knew you could do it. And then they like track down one of Roshamandius's like old hideout spots where he used to keep like monk prisoners for some reason. I can't remember off the top of my head. And once they get there, he like hears a voice or hears a heartbeat, and he finds, oh look, they thought Roshamandius had killed Louis and Marius and Gabriella, but no, they're all still alive. So everyone's good. And then they go back and they like rebuild the kingdom, the palace, like his father's old like manor, and so they can all be like a vampire kingdom. And then Marius draws this beautiful mural with like all the, the vampires that are important for the series, and it's like 27 pages later after describing it in exacting detail. It's so good. Lestat just like enjoys, and then he dances with everybody, and everyone gets like kind of like a send off, and then it's like just kind of wraps up, and that's it. Blood Canticle. Find out some more about the Replanoids and what they're doing, and it's just like a nice ending. It's good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. There's not much to talk about. Like, not much happened. but it was nice, kind of like just to have Lestat just kind of reflect on life and where he's been, what he's been doing, and where he's headed off to. So it was good. I enjoyed it. And rest in peace, Anne Rice, you're one of the greatest writers. But yeah, there you go. Blood cancer guy. Cool. Catch you over.